Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday you tried that example, shopping cart example. Have you tried? You achieved the task. Anyone successfully done that? Huh? I asked you to try two tasks. Anyone done? Why? You tried, not working. Huh? So, what are the tasks I asked? Total amount. Another one is check boxes. One more is delete. Nothing working. Huh? Not even one option working. You tried. So once, one more time, try that option. Huh? I will upload one example into class. You check that. Okay. You must able to do it without any help. You must able to do it. So what is the purpose of fetch method, APIs, and all these we learnt? Now, after understanding that, now today we will see another data type. Till now, in the non-primitive types, what are the types? Array and object. And we learned array of objects. Array of objects. So next important, we have map type. We have another important data type is map. Actually, it is a new type introduced from ES5 version. It is a new data type introduced from ES5 version. What is the purpose of this is? It is a key and value collection. It is a key and value collection. Object is also same. Object is also a key and value collection. Then what is advantage of map? So object is also a key value. Map is also a key value. Then why we need map? What is the problem in object? We will see that. Actually, why we need map? Because here the question is, what is difference between map, object and map? That is the question. Actually, difference between object and map is, so many points are there. First one is object contains only string type keys. Object contains only string type keys. That means every key must be what type? String. And another problem is object requires explicit operators and functions for manipulation. It requires explicit operators and functions for manipulation. What does that means? I will show you. Explicit operators and options, how they work, we will see that. So the first thing is object contains only string type keys and it needs explicit operators. Explicit operators means, see, first point is how to delete any key. How you can delete any key from an object. For that, what we need is the answer for this is by using delete operator. We have to use a delete operator. I told you this. No, we'll see now. So if I want to delete a key, we need a delete operator. Delete operator is separate. We have to use a separate operator. By using that, we need to delete. I will show you. For example, see, here we are creating one object. Let's open this project. So here, let's add just object related some properties. I will write a script. In this, we have product as an object. Product have name and product have price. Like this, some details. I am printing document.write. We are printing name, product.name. In the next line, we are printing price. That is product.price. Now it is printing both name and price. We are printing both name and price. Now here, I don't want this price. We want to delete one property. Then we can use a delete operator. Delete product.price. It is going to delete price. Then price is not there. Undefined means it is not available. That is remote. Now the question is this delete operator belonging to object? That doesn't belong to object. It is a separate operator. That separate operator we are using here. So it is a separate operator and we are using that separate operator here. That is why we call it as explicit. Explicit means externally we need some operator. So this is one example for deleting. I will give one example. Second point is how to verify the existence of key. How to verify the existence of key. How do we know whether that key available or not? How do we verify that? To verify whether a key is available or not, we have to use by using in operator. By using in operator, we have to use in operator. That means here, suppose I want to verify whether product contains rating or not. Then we will write like this. Document.write. So is rating available? Is rating available? How? we have to use property name. Property name is what? Rating. In object name. Object name is what? Product. This in operator is going to return true or false. If rating is present, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Right? Suppose if this product is having rating as some 4.2 or something, now it will return true. That means rating available. If it is not available, then it will return false. So how to verify whether a property present or not? By using which operator? In. Is this in operator belonging to object? No. Using object. So this is also explicit. So this is another example. Next point is how to read all keys. How to read all keys. How many keys are present? How to read all keys? Means how many keys are present. We want to read all the keys. Generally, in an array, how to read all properties? Properties. In an array, to read all properties, we used for in. Am I right? To read all values, for of. To read all values, we use for of. To read all properties, we use for in. Suppose if I want to read all keys, then we have to write like this. So we have to write for var key in, what is it? Product. Then document dot write key br. That means it is going to read all the keys. For that we use which operator? In operator. Which statement? For in. So how you can read all the keys? To read all the keys by using for in iterator. We call it as iterator. So this is example. By using for in iterator, we can read. Now the question is how to read all keys and values. I want to read all keys and values. If I want to read all the keys and values, again, we have to use by using for in with property reference. For in with property reference, we have to do. That means how we have to do is for in, it is returning key. I will do like this. So it is returning key. After that colon, we will mention object name product of key. Product of key means it will return the value. So I will put br. That means it will read every key and value and display. We can read all keys. We can read all values. If I remove this, it is going to return what? It is going to return all values only, na? It is going to return all values. So we can use all keys and all values. So this is an example for that. This is an example for reading keys and values. So we can read all keys. we can read all values. You can read both keys and values. You can verify the key. We can delete the keys. But everything is done by using explicit methods, not in internal methods. Everything is done by using explicit methods. Okay. Another question is how to know the count of keys. How many keys are present? How do we know? How many keys are present? How do we know? We don't have length. Generally, array have length. Na? Here we don't have length. Object don't have length. Then how? Object is not having length. For example, you see, I am writing document dot write product dot length. It is not there. There is no length. There is no length. Then how do we know how many keys are present? We need to write again logic for that. Very lengthy logic. Lengthy logic means how to read all the keys for where item or item, for example, key in what is it? Product. It is reading every key. Actually, what we do, we will declare one variable called count. Count initially how much? 0. Then what we will do is for everyone count plus plus means count will be increased by 1. This is lengthy process. We have to store that count and return. That means generally what we do is answer by using loops, iterators, and count increment. Like this we have to do. Those count increments, iterations, loops, I will tell you in statements. In statements we will learn. So the object related manipulations are managed through all explicit methods, explicit operators. That is the reason. Due to that, what happens is the next point. Due to that, what happens is the third point is object is slow. It is slow in access. It is slow in access. Why it is slow in access? Because it requires all external methods. Because it requires all external methods, then it is obviously slow. That means everything is managed explicitly, right? These are the drawbacks of object. So if anybody asked what are the issues with object, first issue is object contains only string type keys. Value can be any type, but key must be only string type. Second, object manipulations are managed explicitly. All explicit operators and methods are required. Due to that, it is slow in access. But one advantage is there. What is the advantage? Object contains structured data. It contains the structured data. Why structured data? Because all keys are string and all values are any type. But one uniqueness is there. What is that uniqueness? All the keys are what type? String type. So that is structured, well organized, right? That is one important advantage of object. These are all about object. But object have lot of drawbacks. To overcome these drawbacks of an object, so JavaScript have a concept called map. These are all about what? These are all about object. These all are about object. Now, to overcome the problems of object, they introduced a concept called map. JavaScript introduced map. What is the advantage of map is, map, it is a key value collection. Same like object. Here, key can be any type. That means not structured. That means not string. It can be any type. You can have number key. You can have Boolean key. You can have string key. Key can be any type, right? So, for example, we are creating one object. Can I use 1:TV? It is not possible because key must be what type? String type. This is possible in map. Another important, it provides implicit methods for manipulation. For manipulation, it provides all internal methods. That is the reason it is fast. What are internal methods? It have set, it have get, it have hash, it have keys, it have values, it have entries, keys, values, entries, it have size. That means these are the methods. By using these methods, you can easily handle data. You can easily handle. What is set? Set, it is to store a value. It is to store a value with a key. Get means it is to read value using key. Has means it is used to verify key. Keys means it returns all keys. Values means it returns all values. Entries means it returns both keys and values. And the size means it returns length of keys. Means actually length means count of keys. How we done all this with object? We done all this with object by using explicit techniques, by using additional methods, by using additional operators. And we have like delete. Delete means it removes a key and a value. We have clear. Clear means it removes all keys and values. So it is having everything inbuilt. So that is the advantage. That is the advantage. So it is faster in access. When compared to object, which one is fast? Map. But one drawback is there. What is the drawback of map? The main drawback of map is it is schemaless. Schemaless means what? Structureless. It is schemaless. Schemaless means structureless. It is not structured. It is structureless. That is one of the major issue with the map. But if you are looking for some data, you are not worried about structure. then better you can go with map. But if you are looking for structured data, then you have to go with object. Majority JSON is what type? Object. But sometimes we need keys and values without any structure. Then we can go with map. So we don't need to use object at that time. We can use maps. Let's see how it works. For example, how to create a map syntactically like this. So syntactically, where topics is equal to new map. Now into that map, we need to store some data. That means topics dot set. Set key any type, value any type. Suppose key 1, I am giving number and I am giving suppose HTML is a markup language like this I given. Another one topics dot set. Another key can be a string type. We said some Samsung LED TV, something like this we define. One is number type, another one is string type. You can have different types of keys. Now, if I want to know how many keys are present, then what we can do, simply document.write. So total count of keys. How to access, simply topics.size. Topics.size, it is going to get the keys. So if you want to access all the keys, then what you can do is for var item of, what is it, topics dot what, keys, and see document dot write item, it is going to print all keys. You can see it is going to print all the keys. Suppose I want to print all values, just I have to use another function called what, values. It is going to return all values. I want to return both keys and values, then simply I can use entries. Entries means it will return both keys and values. You can easily access the keys, you can easily do. You can even verify whether key present or not. How to verify whether key present or not? We can write a if condition. If topics dot has some stock, like this we define. If it is having stock, then what to do? Document dot write. So stock available, something like this. Available, like this we are defining. Else document dot write, we will say there is no stock defined, something like this. Then it is going to print there is no stock defined. It will verify whether that key present or not. Stock here, suppose I am using topics dot set. Another one is stock. In that, so product stock will be available from tomorrow, something like this I given, or say some 10 June 2022 23. That just the stock is available, and you can see it will return that stock available. If it is not, it will not. Suppose I want to delete it. How do we delete? Simple. How do we delete? Just we have to use topics dot what, delete. Delete what, stock. That means now stock is removed. Then you can see only 2 keys are present, stock is not there. Right? You can verify, you can read, you can add, you can handle all kind of manipulations easily. That is the reason it is fast. It is fast. Why a map is fast when compared to object? Because map contains all implicit methods. Syntactically, how we do? Where some name is equal to new map. Name dot set. We have to define key and a value. If I want to access name dot get, we have to use the reference of key. That is how you can configure get or set. Similarly, we have name dot size, we have name dot delete, right? Delete, you have name dot keys. All these are options. Here we need to mention key. These are all different methods available. What is advantage of this is all these methods are implicit methods. Implicit methods means they are internally available with a map. That is the reason they are fast in communication, right? This is example. This is an example for that. Let me copy this. This is the basic example of map. Now tell me the difference between object and map. Map is a key value collection. Object is also key value collection. Next, map keys are any type. Object keys are string type. Next, map provides implicit methods for manipulation. Object requires explicit. Next, map is fast, object is slow. Map is structureless, object is structured. These are the important differences you need to know, right? Hope you are clear. Right. So that is map type. How do we work with the map? Next important in JavaScript data types, date type. Another important in JavaScript is date type. So how we store dates and how do we manipulate dates? Actually, see, suppose I am writing one few details like this. Okay, so here I am writing where name is equal to some Samsung TV, where price is equal to some price, where manufactured, MFD, manufactured means on which date it is manufactured. So how to write date? Suppose I want to write the date like it is manufactured on February 20, 2023. Then how do we write? Suppose I written like this, 02 February, that is 22 and 2023. This is not date. This is string. That means it may look like date, but date calculations will not work. Suppose now I want to calculate how many days it has been after manufactured. I want to know in which weekday it is manufactured. Is it Sunday, Monday? We can't know that because now it is not a date. It is treated as a string. If I write without quotes, then it is invalid because it cannot, a number cannot be like this. It is invalid. Then how? So how we define date? How to store date and how to use the date in manipulations. For that, actually, JavaScript provides a date constructor, it allocates memory for date type of data. So in date memory, the date is stored uh, in following format. What is the format is, date must be stored in this format. It should be like this, where we will say MFD some manufactured is equal to new date. This is called date constructor. If you write like this, if you don't mention any date, then automatically it loads current system date and time. It will load current system date and time. If you don't mention any date and time, by default it will show the current date and time. Suppose you want to mention any specific date and time, that means you have to use what? New date. In this, we need to mention the details like this. How do we mention the details? Here we need to mention the details. Like first, it should be year. So it should be month. It should be day. After that, hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds. This is the format of date and time if you want. You can mention only date, you can mention only time, you can mention both date and time, but it should be in this format. Whenever you store date, it must be in which format? Year, month, day. Otherwise, it is not valid. Right? For example, see here. To store date now, I am using new date constructor. And I am not mentioning any date. Then by default, current date will be stored. You see now, document.write. I will print these details like name. What is the name? Whatever name. Next, price. Price is whatever the price. And next, manufactured. How do we get the manufactured? Here, MFD. This manufactured, you can see it is going to print. It is going to print this date. It is going to print date in this way. Current date and time is loaded. Current date and time is loaded. Now here, see, here important point is, if you want, you can store specific date. Here I am storing 22/02/2023, manufactured on that particular day. Now I refresh, it shows invalid. Why invalid? Because it should start with which one? Year. Year, month, day. So the format must be like this. What it is? 2023, month and day. Now it is fine. It will get the date and it will show. Wednesday, February 22, 2023. Suppose time is not there. So we need to put the time. Hours is suppose 14:32. Hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. Hours can be 0 to 23, minutes 0 to 59, seconds 0 to 59, milliseconds 99, 0 to 99 milliseconds. Now you can see that it is going to print that particular time. Oh, it is showing some here colon, right? Now you can see it will show that particular time. Hours must be 0 to 23. It is in 24-hour format. Like this, we can display the date. So here we are storing the date. In which format? The year, month, day format. But while displaying the date, this is example, we are storing the date. When we access manufactured, it is displaying its own style. I want only day. I want only month. I want only year. I don't want like that. I want in my own style. Then actually to read date and time, we have some methods. JavaScript provides various methods for reading date and time. What are the methods for reading date and time? We have get hours. So what it will do is it returns our number 0 to 23. We have get minutes. Get minutes. It returns minutes number 0 to 59. We have get seconds. That means what it will do? It returns seconds number. How much? 0 to 59. We have get milliseconds. It returns milliseconds. Seconds number. What is it? 0 to 99. We have get date. So it returns date number. Get day. It returns weekday number. Weekday number means 0 is equal to, weekday number means 0 is equal to Sunday. It will not return Sunday. It will not return the word Sunday, Monday. It will return 0, 1, 2, 3. Then again problem, because we want to display in words, but it will be in number. Suppose we say get month. So it returns month number. Month number 0 is equal to January. Suppose we have get full year. That means it returns full year number. We have two local date string. We have like two local time string. These are the ready-made date and time methods. So many methods are there for accessing the date and presenting the date, both date as well as time. But problem is all these methods are returning the values in number form. All these are returning in number format. If they are returning in number format, again we have problem. All are returning in number format, then we have a problem. What is the problem? The problem is we can't show cleanly so that user can understand. I will show you. For example, see, I will show you one technique here. Suppose we want to print the day, which day it is manufactured. See what I am doing now. Manufactured. So here I will write, yeah. uh, manufactured month. How to get the month number? MFD dot get month will return the month number. Okay, I will get here manufactured. So manufactured weekday. Manufactured weekday, I am giving MFD dot get day. Get day means weekday, right? So, and another one is manufactured year. Then MFD dot get full year. That's how we are configured. Now let's run this and see, and you can see it will display this. Manufactured month is 1. Why 1? Because 0 starts with January. Weekday is 3. 0 is Sunday. 1 is Monday. 2 is Tuesday. 3 is Wednesday. This is not good because it is not clean in understanding. But date will return like this only. Then we have to implement some technique, and we need to present date in a good way. How? Simple. See, what we will do is we will create an array called weekdays. Weekdays array. In that weekdays array, we will create Sunday. We will define Monday. We will define Tuesday. We define Wednesday. And we define Thursday. We define Friday. Shortcut, you write full form, your wish. We say Saturday. Like this, we are adding. Similarly, we have to create an array for months array. In that January, in that February, we have March, we have April, we have May, like this. June, July, like this. All you have to do, August, all we need to define. Now, what is advantage is, now tell me what this is returning. That is returning weekday number. We will pass that weekday number into weekdays array. Into weekdays array, we will pass that weekday number. Then automatically it will return that weekday name. Similarly, what this is returning? Month number. We will pass month number into which array? Months array. Then it will return the month number and it will display. That depends on how you given the date. For example, see here. Suppose I am changing the date, manufactured date. I given 3 and 26 like this. And what happens? It is going to display like this. It is going to change automatically. The weekday will change. Generally, date functions will display everything in which format number. We have to implement techniques like this. Actually, there is another option called, so we can use, for example, MFD.to local date string. To local date string means it will display like this. We have option like to local time string. Manufactured.to local time string. To local time string means it will display the time like this. right? That depend on how you configure to local date string to local time string, but it is not clear. We want in our own style. Then we have to write the arrays, implement through arrays and display. That is basically how we can use these date functions, right? Here, a lot of points are there. This is okay. Simple point is these are all the date methods and time methods. You can use them. Now see, I will give one example here. Suppose based on that, I want to design some presentation. Suppose you see websites. Whenever anybody open my website, I want to show time, current time, right? And I want to show salutation. Salutation means good morning, good afternoon, good evening. With some icons, we want to put some symbols, right? Your wish, you can display that by using your own icons and all. For example, see here, how to write such logics, right? First point is, let's create one simple one. Suppose I will create a page. I will put a paragraph, align as center, body on load, body load. Now I want to display time, current time in that paragraph. I want to display time in that paragraph. So see what I am doing. Script. So function, body load. I am using where now is equal to new date. If I don't pass the date, it will load the current date and time. Document dot query selector, document dot query selector, paragraph, inner HTML. In that I want to display now dot to local time string. To local time string. That means it will display the current time here. It is going to display the time. So here I'll just keep a style, paragraph, font family as monospace, font size as suppose 100 pixel, and it will display like this. It will display like this. But very important, time is not ticking. Why time is not ticking? Because we return logic on body load. When we return on body load, what will happen? At the time of loading body, what time is there? The time it will display. When I refresh again, it will load that and display. I don't want like that. I want the time to be changing, ticking. Every second it should change. So what you can do now is we will write a function. Function name clock. This clock function is having this logic. Okay, fine. We will call the clock function here on body load. Then it will show the clock. But this function should be called every second. It should be called every second. Then we use a method set interval. We call these as timer events. We have a timer event set interval. Set interval is going to execute your function every few seconds. Which function to execute? Function name. Function name is what? Clock. So what is the interval? Interval is 1000 milliseconds. 1000 milliseconds means 1 second. That means now every second this clock function will fire up. That means you can see it is changing now. The time is ticking. So how it is possible? It is possible by executing the function every second. How we can execute any function every second? That is possible by using set interval. Set interval. By using set interval, we can define that. Suppose I given 50 and it will be like this. Now, not only the message time, I want to show salutation. Salutation like good morning, good afternoon, like that. How you can display salutation? So see now, what I will do is, we will write here a condition. We will write a logic. Logic is if first we will get our number, ours. Now dot get ours. It will get our number. Our number. We will get where MSG. MSG is empty. Currently message is empty. We will write a condition if ours is greater than or equal to 0. Ours is greater than or equal to 0. And double ampersand and ours is less than or equal to 12. Then message should have good morning. Message should have good morning. We will write another condition, else if another condition. Ours is greater than 12 and ours is less than or equal to suppose 16, 17. Then what should happen? MSG we will give as what? Good afternoon. Afternoon. Like this we will display. Else if another condition, ours is greater than 17 and ours is less than or equal to 23. Less than or equal to 23. Then what we have to do? MSG is equal to good evening. So like this we want to display. Now what I am doing here, that also I will display here. Paragraph inner HTML. So here at the first line, we will add like this. In the first line, we will put the message MSG. In the next line, we will access now dot to local time string. Now it is going to display the message and that good morning. It should show good afternoon, where the condition is there less than, right? That means it will display greater than or equal to a good afternoon. It will display. Condition we have to mention. Right? Depend. It will change now. Suppose I open this website morning. It will say good morning. Currently, I can't change my time. You can try in your computer because currently if I change time, the Zoom stops. Online class is going on. It will stop. When we change the time, Zoom will mismatch the time and it will stop. So you do that by your own. That means you know how to change time now. At the bottom, time is there. Adjust date and time. Change the time and see. After changing time, don't refresh. Close and open again. Because time will not affect if you directly refresh. Right? So this is, if you want, you can put a photo also. You can put a picture also. That means afternoon picture, evening picture, some icons we can put. For example, you see Google, suppose we have in the images, so good afternoon, afternoon gifs, afternoon gif images will be there. You see, good afternoon images, gif images will be there. These are all good afternoon gifs. Actually, this is the gif, and you can see gif will have animated. We have animated gifs. We can have a lot of animated gifs. This is not animated. Suppose this is some good afternoon, some gif. So let's take an animated one. So many gifs will be available. You can use those gifs. Let's take this one only. Which one? All these are not animated, I think. Suppose. Okay. I will copy this image. Save image as. We will save in which location? In D drive, Flipkart, public images. In that we have afternoon gif, like that morning gif, afternoon gif. You can give different gifs. Okay, temporarily what I will do here, we will keep var pick is a string. When it is afternoon, we will put pick is equal to, so we will put dot slash public slash images slash afternoon dot what gif, and I want to display that here. That means what we will do, document dot query selector img dot src is equal to pick. Now we will put an image here. We will put an image above. Above I will keep an image. This image will keep in a div. That align will be center. Image will have width 100, height 100. Now you can see that image will be displayed there. It is displaying that image. For morning one image, for evening one image, for afternoon one image, we can change. Just we have to put the source. The time is changing, message will be changing, icon also will be changing. So that is done by using the timer. This is one simple example. How important point is here, one important concept is timer events. JavaScript provides following timer events. Later in specify interval. This is set interval. So what is the purpose of set interval is it is going to execute this function. It is going to execute that function repeatedly at regular intervals. You say 1000 milliseconds, every 1000 milliseconds, the function will execute. Function will execute. That is what actually interval. That's I used here. Later, we will have separate discussion and examples on that interval function. Right? We will have a separate discussion on that. As of now, this is enough to understand how to define. So these comes under which category? Timer events. Timer events. Later we will learn other events, how to use. Currently I used only one. Set interval I have used. Why you need this? Because when we access time, time is displaying, but it is not ticking. That means every second we want the time to execute. Then we can use that. This is used in so many occasions. For example, I will show you another one roughly so that you can understand. Suppose I am using a page. Here, I will just give a simple one, right? Here we are giving a div. So we will keep a button, load image. So we will add link relation is equal to style sheet. Href is equal to node modules. Bootstrap dist CSS bootstrap dot CSS. Okay. Now we will use class container fluid and deflex justify content center and align items center and style height as some 500 pixel. Okay. Now this is actually ID as a loading container. Okay. This is one div. And there is another div. This is ID image container. Container. Here we have an image. So public images fashion 1.jpg. So width 300, height 400, something like this. We have a loading container, this one, BTN primary like this. Now this is another one. This is actually which container? Button container. There is another div. This is ID loading container. Okay, here we have a span class spinner border. And we will put a paragraph loading. And here we will put another div ID as status. Actually, this is class text center. Okay, all these are ready. It is like this now. Load image. Okay, that is fine. Height 600 pixel. Okay. This is all the content we are having. Now what we will do is for loading container, style display as none. For image container, style display as none. That means only load image is there. Now what we will do is here, you click on load image. That means we will write a button on click. On click, what we will do is load click. Okay. Now here we will write a function. So we have a script where count is 1. Count is 1. Or count is starting with 0. So we will use a function start count. Start count. So this start count will use count plus plus. And it will display in document dot get element by ID status dot inner HTML. It should display count. It should display like this. It should display count percent completed. Completed. This message it will display. You can see that is status. Status is here. So percent completed. It should display that. Okay, fine. Count must be incremented and it is displayed here. Now what should happen is we will write a function load click. On load click, we have to call this function, right? So what we will do on load click, we have to use set interval. Which function should be called? Start count function should be called. How many milliseconds? I want little fast, then 100 milliseconds. 1000 means according to CPU time. More faster means less than 500 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds we can give. Okay, 100 milliseconds. After that, document dot get element by ID button container dot style dot display is none. After that, document get element by ID loading container dot style dot display is equal to block. We have to display. After that, we will write a condition. If count is equal to 100, if count is equal to 100, then document dot get element by ID loading container dot style dot display as none. That means it should not display. Document dot get element by ID image container dot style dot display is equal to block. Image container should display. Now see what happens when I click on load click. When I click on load image, then it will display like this. When it reaches 100, then it is going to display that image there. Oh, it is not stopping. Why? Condition wrong. Where is the count? Here itself we have to write. This must happen. This must happen inside this one. Okay, na? Count is incremented there in that location. Load image, it is loading. When it reaches 100, then automatically it should hide this container and display another container. We are on image and load image, it is displaying how much percent completed. And once it is, speed depends on how much you given. Interval, how much you given. I given interval here 100 na. Suppose I given 500 milliseconds. It will be slow, right? That means what I will do is style. So wherever paragraph is there, so font size is suppose some 20, 30 pixel, paragraph and div. And you can see load, it will display like this. Now you can see slow. So that is depending on how much interval you have given, right? That means you can see here, I'm giving the interval how many seconds? So 100 milliseconds. That means it will be fast. We can set the timing interval and display. Actually, I am using a spinner. Instead of spinner, see when image is coming, we can make that image come with some animation. How? We learned keyframes now. We can apply keyframes dynamically. Then we can put with some animation also. We can put some animation. We can put, see how to write keyframes, remembered? At the net, what? Keyframes. Keyframes. Huh? Keyframe name is suppose zoom in, right? And it should have from what is the size? Width is 5 pixel, or and height is 5 pixel. Small size. To width. To width is what? Suppose 300 pixel and height as 400 pixel. Now what should happen? This keyframe should be applied when 100% is completed. That means now what we have to do when 100 is completed, we have to access the image where pick is equal to document dot query selector. What is it? Image. Now what we have to do? Pick dot style dot animation. Animation, it is actually animation name na. Animation name. Animation name. What is animation name? Zoom in. After that, pick dot style dot animation duration. Animation duration. How many seconds? 5 seconds. It will take 5 seconds. Animation duration. We can apply all here. Animation, iteration count, animation, direction, everything. Currently, we are using 5 seconds. Animation name, animation duration. These two we are giving. Now see, when I click on load, when it reaches 100%, then automatically the image is not displayed immediately. It will display with that effect. We can add lot of effects we already know. That means, for example, here we can give from transform, rotate, transform. What is it? Rotate, suppose 360, initially 0 degree, 0 degree. And here transform, rotate what? 360 degree. Rotate 360 degree. That means you click here, it is going to display with the zoom, and it is going to display with the transformation also. It is going to display with the transformation. So we can add the effects. You can make like slowly appear. How slowly appear fade, like opacity, you can keep it to 0. Opacity, you can keep it to 1. From 0 to 1 opacity, then it will be slowly appeared, right? We can keep different types of effects. So here, so suppose we say border, so border radius, suppose 500 pixel, 100 pixel is enough, 100 pixel. And here we given border radius as suppose 10 pixel. That means we are applying some more effects also. Border radius means corner. Here it is going to display with that radius. You can see it will come like this. That means we can use various effects. So these are very important, right? This we have applied by using timer event. What is the timer event we have used? The timer event is what? Set interval. Remember, I used this one. You remembered I told you in HTML progress bar. I told progress bar na, instead of this progress bar also you can use. For example, suppose you see I am removing this spinner. Instead of spinner, I will put here a progress. Progress have min 1, max 100. Value also 1. Progress ID as progress. Some ID I given as progress. Now what should happen this time? So when start count happens, we need to access the progress bar. Document dot get element by ID. What is it? Progress. Progress dot value is equal to count. Count value will be applied to progress. And if you want in the style, you can apply progress for progress. So width is some 300 pixel. So height is some 30 pixel like this. And you can see now, this time the progress bar will come. Instead of using a spinner, we are using a progress bar there. And it will display that when it reaches 100. We can use spinners or we can use progress bar. Right? Same example. This time I added a progress bar into that. Same. These are basic things, right? Now, timer related, some more events are there that we'll see tomorrow, right? How do we work with the date and time? Now, once we finish this, we will go into operators, statements, functions, how to handle them. What are operators, statements, and functions? Okay, na? Tomorrow we'll continue.